You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
You don't know about the other side of the pyramid? The fifth side? It's called the floor, you dumbass. I just want to make sure he realizes there is a fifth side to the pyramid.
And once you open your fucking mind of undefeated goddamn fairness.
I know all of them, and I believe none of them, which makes me an expert. Hello, folks. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Cryptid Conspiracy Cult with your host, Chris Morrison. I am here with a very special guest, a man, a podcaster, a wrestler, and a famous man of Charlotte, Fireball. Welcome to the show.
What's up, dude? What's up?
Happy to have you on, and also with us is Mr. Mikey Black, the producer himself.
That's me.
Oh, you're the producer?
Yeah, he's
I did
producing.
not know that.
He's got half the
I
equipment.
didn't, I didn't know he was the producer. I just thought he was
He's
just...
feeding us. Fuck. That's the producer credit right there. But no, we wanted to pick your brain about some conspiracies you got going, and tell us a little bit about yourself. Some of the people who don't know who Fireball is.
Well, I am a dude. I like women of all kinds.
We're losing half the demographic right there.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I like dudes too, just in a different way. It just
What about Dude Stew?
I like dudes just in a different way.
A Dude Stew.
Dude stew?
Dude Stew.
Dude, what's that?
Dude Stew.
Dude stew?
Get like 12 guys in one hot tub.
Sounds like a South Park
I think I've done that before. Actually, it wasn't sexual in nature, but it was like a good 7 of us in there. I like chicks. I like grits. I like tacos, and I like bratwurst a lot. I like heavy metal. I like punk. I like country western.
Hell yeah.
I am a quotation pro wrestler, unquotation. I am a quotation artist, unquotation. I do photography stuff that I suck at. I used to drink a lot of beer. I've cut that back a lot. What else do I do? I dance. I'm a burlesque dancer, or some people call it boylesque. I'm gender neutral. I don't give a shit, man. You can call it- Can I cuss on this thing?
You can do whatever you want, man.
Oh, let me jack off real quick.
Who gives a fuck?
Rub one out if you have to.
That's about it, I reckon. Oh, I'm a dad. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I
That's a
guess
big one.
that's. And I once saw, since it's a conspiracy thing, I once saw an identifying flying object.
Oh,
Twice in my life.
So that's actually great you said that, because one thing I ask all my guests when they come on the show is, do you believe in aliens? Because that's the biggest conspiracy of all.
Wow, is that even a conspiracy anymore? I
Maybe.
think it's like a fact now, dude. It's
We can ignore the guy that went to Washington and said, yeah, aliens are real, and then just like reneged and didn't show no evidence. But they're real. Well, you got evidence? Yeah. Can we see it? No.
not yet.
Fuck no. Yes.
There's a patent, and lawyers are involved, and the alien nation doesn't want it. It's a whole thing right now.
It's confusing. But no, it's always a good thing to ask, because I get a lot of people that I talk to for the show, and even off air, about some of their favorite conspiracies, and just kind of go into them just a little bit. Now, we've separately talked to Mikey about some of our conspiracies. One is the 15-minute city.
Yeah, he doesn't believe in it, yet he lives in one.
Yeah. So
Or the start of one, pretty
So
much.
the idea of the 15-minute city is actually an old real conspiracy that actually happened. Started in New York City. You ever heard of the name Robert Moses?
No.
Turn of the century, Robert Moses was tasked with rebuilding New York to a certain extent. So you had old Victorian New York, and then the invention of the automobile kind of went big and fast, and he had to redesign all the boroughs of New York. And what he did was he created basically what the subway lines look like now, but worse. So you have Harlem, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Uptown, Downtown, the Village, the West Village, and stuff like that. Those all exist as separate issues, like the whole different areas, because Robert Moses designed the city that way. He wanted to push out the poor blacks into Harlem. He wanted to push out the Irish and Germans out of certain areas, and that's where you get places like the original West Village, and then you have downtown, which is basically a Jewish center where all the Jewish immigrants had lived. And he basically designed the city to be segregated and destroyed parks, destroyed whole swaths of neighborhoods, and that became the actual design of what most cities go by now. Atlanta is a perfect example, because Atlanta used to be a neighborhood city, and now it has a giant fucking interstate blowing through it called the Spaghetti 85.
So what would Charlotte be?
Charlotte is a forest city. Charlotte is one of the few cities that didn't go down that path. We created the outer loop. So when you have the two outer loops, you have the 85, 77 going through Charlotte, but because the outer loops exist, you can have more area for growth. So Charlotte considered not as bad as Atlanta, because when people like I hear this a lot when I work with people that came from outer state. They're like, when they fly in, they're like, Charlotte doesn't look like a city when you fly in. It looks like a forest. I'm like, yeah, because you're coming in from Pineville.
Yeah.
But another thing about Charlotte is they didn't go down the path of major roadways, just going through.
First, let's copyright this. This is in 2023.
Yeah.
Let's come back in 2028 and listen to how we describe Charlotte and see what it's like then.
They described it as a indoor as an Ewok wonderland. This is like a gangland Detroit.
Well, Charlotte's changed so much.
Yeah.
In like just 4 years, 10 years. I remember going to Charlotte in the 80s when I was a kid. Now, I don't remember all the specifics about it because I was a kid. But when I see pictures of me in the city of Charlotte as a kid, it's not even the same fucking place. It's like being on Main Street in Monroe compared to what it is now.
Yeah.
It's
Well, you have like whole full redesigns for Charlotte. Charlotte's kind of a weird city considered, as opposed to like mega cities, which basically that's what New York is, LA. Those are your mega cities, and then you have cities like Chicago, Dallas, Fort Worth.
I think Chicago just became number 2. I think.
Yeah, so Chicago is.
New York's still number 1, so I think Chicago passed LA.
Yeah, so you have the old cities: Detroit, Chicago, New York, Cleveland. The lake city, the Great Lake cities. You had New York, which all their commerce had to do with the water. Hudson River was dug for the existence of New York. That didn't exist for.
They made it for the Italians, right? So they could put bodies in there.
Yeah.
That's what they threw.
Concrete shoes, Paulie. You got all the concrete shoes.
No, I saw a video one time where they took a camera underwater in the Hudson River, and the
filthy.
whole bottom of it is like just full of fucking pistols.
Yeah, it's filthy.
Oh yeah.
The whole fucking
All
river's
the
filthy.
serial numbers are shaved off. Like
Wrapped in duct tape. The handles wrapped in duct tape. It's just the evidence bag. It's just like cops are just like, we're never gonna solve it. Chuck it.
chuck it.
This is a musket.
Yeah. They shot Joseph Anderson, the 5th guy to sign the Declaration of Independence. Why they shot him? He knows.
Oh, but damn, that's Jimmy Hoffa.
No, he's in the Meadowlands.
No, that's a conspiracy to talk about.
Well, yeah, because he's buried in the Meadowlands or the Jersey Turnpike or wherever the fuck the Italians put him.
Did you see that movie? Sorry to jump over the place. The Irishman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about the 2 guys
So
who killed
good.
Hoffa.
I like that movie a lot with the exception of one thing.
What's up?
They couldn't find 2 young guys to play the role of like Robert De Niro
Right?
and Joe Pesci until they got older.
Yeah, so like, because those guys literally played younger people themselves in Goodfellas and The Godfather of older people. Like, Robert De Niro played a young Marlon Brando. They don't fucking look alike, but he played them in The Godfather too. Yeah, the de-aging on that was kind of weird, and him fighting that dude, like dragging that dude out of the store, looked weird.
Well, wait, like Robert De Niro is what? 70, 80?
Yeah, he's up
And
there.
he's playing like a 20-year-old at the beginning driving a truck. And he
Yeah.
looks like a guy who just...
He looks like a guy who's been on the road for 40 fucking years.
He's shuffling his feet. Just
Yeah.
fucking.
Now, where's the spry guy you got,
Like,
at least they did that with the Sopranos movie. They got John Barenthal to play fucking Tony's dad.
And like Al Pacino just looked old as shit. Because especially with Al Pacino, anybody that knows of Al Pacino knows what he looked like when he was young.
Yes.
And
Back
he
when
moved way better than that and didn't look humpback.
Yeah. Al Pacino in his prime, like...
Al Pacino is currently 83.
Yeah, Al Pacino back when it was Panic in Needle Park and Dog Day Afternoon, before even Scarface and all that shit.
I
Back in
love
his
Dog
prime.
Day Afternoon. That's a good movie. They should remake that and make it better.
That's it'd be more relevant actually today, because if you remember the plot line, he's trying to rob a bank to get money to give his boyfriend a sex change.
Ain't that a true story though?
It's loosely based on a true story. Yeah, but yeah, same 2 guys, like him and the guy that played his buddy in the bank. He played
Was it-
Fredo in
Was it
Godfather.
what was his name? Sonny Soy?
Yeah, Sonny. He was married to Meryl Streep, but a fantastic actor because he played Fredo in The Godfather. He betrayed him, and he Fredo kissed him.
Yeah. Who would have thought? I guarantee we're the only podcast this month that mentions the movie Dog Day Afternoon.
Dog Day Afternoon is fantastic.
You ever seen it, Mikey?
I have not.
It's pretty good.
It's a wild kind of flick.
It holds up for its time. It's probably 45, 50 years old now.
Yes, late 70s.
Look it up. See how old that movie is.
Yeah, late 70s.
I
so-
got the DVD if you ever want to watch it.
No, it's about Al Pacino's character.
What's it called?
Dog Day Afternoon.
Dog Day Afternoon. Yeah, Al Pacino.
75.
Yeah, so
That's what, 85, 95, 05, 15. It's almost 50 years old.
yeah,
It's 48, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what's crazy is in that movie, not to go off topic a little bit, but no, he's just trying to rob a bank to get money to get his boyfriend a sex change operation.
Nice.
Nice, yeah,
That's very progressive. For
And like the
75.
cops try to it's a great standoff movie, and he gets the people riled the fuck up to like people are watching the bank robbery go on.
Yeah.
And he's out there screaming fucking Attica, which is a reference to a fucking prison that went off the rails because they had a riot and the cops came in and killed a bunch of them. But no, it ends
I like when the guy shows up.
the negotiator.
No, his boyfriend / girlfriend.
Oh yeah, he's wearing that fucking robe.
Yeah. Now that you're speaking about it, sex changes in 1975.
not top of the line.
I'm pretty sure it's pretty primitive. They could have done that in the kitchen.
Yeah, it wasn't streamlined.
A fucking bandsaw. Just-
Like right now, we can do that sex change right here now.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's fine. This is you don't need to
cut
rob
my
a bank.
dick off, take 2 of them pepperonis from that pizza, sew them together, sew to top of my balls, and book on it.
1975 special.
pussy.
Run to Arby's real quick, get a recipe sandwich, let's make something happen.
The pussy. 2 Z's.
1975 sex change coming at you live, folks. Come
Yeah.
get it. 2 for 1 special.
God, that sounds hot.
But you brought up Jimmy Hoffa. Just disappear. That's a fantastic conspiracy because he ran the Teamsters, and he ran a slush fund of cash that ran through the mafia and through every fucking major union in the United States.
What do you think happened to Jimmy Hoffa?
I think he was murdered by the government.
What do you think, Mikey?
I think the mob took him out,
Yeah.
which is also the government.
I think he took his money and disappeared to Wisconsin.
Wisconsin?
Or North Dakota, South Dakota. Anywhere that's in the middle of nowhere, which is a lot of places back then.
You ever seen the movie Nothing But Trouble?
That
With
sounds,
Chevy Chase.
I have, but it's been a very long time.
They find Jimmy Hoffa's ID in that fucking house, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is where the government sends people they want to disappear." And the fucking they have a roller coaster that turns people into bones. It's called Bone Stripper. It's fucking fantastic.
I have to watch that.
Damn Yankees do the fucking song. The whole song is about cops killing people after pulling them over.
Shit.
Just Bone Stripper. You can play a segment of that fucking song. That's a hair metal song from hell, dude. Damn Yankees, Bone Stripper. Tough as fuck. But that's where Jimmy Hoffa ends up in that movie. He ends up being turned into a pile of bones.
Quentin Tarantino should make it. He does those movies where he kind of rewrites history.
Yes, so like he's got his 8th film coming out. That's it. That's gonna be his last one.
He should do.
What, the death of Jimmy Hoffa?
Yes, but Jimmy Hoffa make his whole story up with it.
Yeah,
I would watch it. I'd be honest with you. If he put a QT on it, I'll watch it.
yeah. Fucking the what was it called? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Fantastic.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
It's
I wish that would have been the real ending in the world.
Oh, the real end of Charles Manson? Yeah, fuck them motherfuckers, those dirty fucking hippies.
Like I wish that would have been like this. Here's the thing about me. I love
Just some random stuntman beating the shit out of Susan Atkins and what's her
which
name?
was based off of the stuntman was loosely based off a wrestler named Gene LaBelle
Yeah, I've heard of Gene.
that was the only guy that supposedly beat the shit out of Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
And
he
he
put his
told-
hands on
yeah.
him.
And it
But
was
Gene LaBelle also talked about Steven Seagal too, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
When he put Steven Seagal in a headlock and pulled he put him in like a rear naked choke, pulled him back, and then let him go, and then punched him in the stomach and made
and he
Steven
shat his
he
pants.
shit his pants. Gene LaBelle talked about that. I remember watching
And,
the interview.
and when Gene LaBelle did it to Steven Seagal, he was like 60 at the time, probably.
Yeah, he was old, and
Yeah.
Steven Seagal is an asshole.
Because a lot of people give Gene LaBelle for shit because he was a pro wrestler. He's all he's fake, he's phony, he's full of shit. And it turns out he's like, no, fuck you guys. I'm legit badass.
You know, I had talked to my dad about this yesterday, and we were talking about there's a new wrestling movie coming out, but it's about the Von Erich brothers,
Yes.
The Iron Claw story.
Yeah.
And we were talking about like old wrestling when it came out, because, you know, when it came out that it was all fake.
What?
Scripted.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
When they broke kayfabe,
What is that word?
Yeah, what is that word? There you go. Hold tight. But when it came out, like, it was fake, and like it's not really fake though. It's like they're athletes. They are entertainers, but they're athletes first. They are taking fucking beatings.
I
in
don't
that
understand
ring.
the fake part. I'm confused.
Yeah.
I've been hearing that conspiracy my whole life. I tell you right now, it's not. It's a fake. It's conspiracy. It's bullflop.
It's bull hockey.
It's bullflop, guys.
You heard it first here on the Cryptic Conspiracy Cult. Wrestling's real.
I cracked the case right now. It's real.
Just to hear a flying fucking elbow coming across the kitchen. It's real, goddammit.
It's real, but is it true?
Ooh.
What is true in the world today? Love? I think not.
No.
Happiness? Make believe.
That's right, folks. We're putting conspiracy in the fucking.
Getting existential with it.
Yeah.
What is true? I tell you what's true. Whiskey.
Whiskey.
That's one of the few true things on this planet.
That's right.
A couple real things and some
Dog
whiskeys.
love.
We'll put the conspiracy
Dog love
in a
is true.
sharpshooter right now.
Dog love is true. A dog loves you because he loves you. He wants nothing from you. Doesn't care anything what you got. If a dog loves you, he'll stay with you. You got no money, no food, no clothes. What you look like.
That's unconditional love right there.
That's true love. Try that with Courtney one time. Come, quit your job, quit showering, and just burn the house down. See if she's
Burn the house down.
I don't know if you heard, but like last Friendsgiving, I kept telling her, I told her, I was like, if Mikey ever give you shit, give him a good little pop in the chin. I was just like, I was showing her just the little love tap to the chin. What the fuck? Chris was right, it works. You shut the fuck up, don't you?
burn your house down. Them dogs still stay Bayside. Those dogs
We're still trying to. Hey, I will say this: if you will, Courtney to leave, I'm still trying to get him to join the Mormon Church.
If Courtney leaves,
No, to get her to leave because he's going to come back with another blonde, blue-eyed chick.
I
Yeah.
like Courtney. Don't get Courtney to leave. That's closest I ever get with Courtney is her being with Mikey. Let me live my fantasy.
I believe our explanation was going to be like, Mikey's going to be like, but we got 2 dogs, 2 girls to be okay. As she packs her shit and burns the house down.
We could get a cat too.
Yeah.
In the words of Joseph Smith.
Be real, bitch.
Look, I got the special underwear and the
Bitch,
glasses.
chill. Yeah, that's his dying words as they lynched him. Bitch, chill. Right before they hung his ass.
So, Mikey can attest to this. I can attest to this. I don't know what your situation in life is. But if you ever live with a woman for like 2 months tops, you do not want 2 or 3 in that fucking house. You want to kill yourself.
Well, that's what the polygamists, they have a house for each one. See, that's how they figured it out. So there's those guys with sister wives. Each wife has a house.
Well, the thing with that is, so here's my take on it from the Bible. Now, I believe that a man can have as many wives as he wants if he can provide for them the same way as he does the other one. And most of the Mormons can't do that. They have one just like the one. They got a couple of whores on the side in a fucking shitty ass apartment. So if you can,
I think you're just talking about regular people. Regular rich people.
so if you can afford to treat them all the same, then I guess go for it. But in reality, can anybody afford to treat somebody exactly the same?
If they're on a reality show, yeah. If they're on TLC.
Oh, there's a reality show.
Live from Atlanta.
There was one I was watching. I did about halfway through the season. And the only reason I watched it because one of the guys is from Gastonia. It was Farmer Wants a Wife.
Oh, I remember that.
But I did not halfway through the season, so I don't know what happened. The black guy threw me for a loop. He was from Gastonia,
He's the
right?
one from Gastonia.
My name's Dale. I can skin a buck, run a trout line. I can finish this whole 5th of whiskey before the cops show up. I can pop off as many rounds off my back porch as I want because God gave me all this land to do it on.
And that one of them is one guy. He'd been married before, and these women who are just like clinging to this guy like he's a fucking saint of saints. Is so distraught. Which you've been married before,
Right.
I'm looking for love. Bitch, you're on a TV show where you get 10 minutes with this guy a day, and there's like 18 camera guys and boom mic guys and a lighting dude around, and
And they just casually mention that all the farmers are also multimillionaires.
yeah.
Every last one of them's filthy rich.
Oh, that black guy had a kind of a shitty house.
That's the real conspiracy.
He lives in Gastonia. He ain't
That's,
really rich.
that's just reality shows. It's all fucking fake.
Yeah, you'll talk about fake reality shows. Channel 9 News,
Channel 9 News.
CNN, Fox. I mean, you pick a news outlet. Now, I'll tell y'all a funny story. It's a conspiracy story.
That's what we're here for.
So when I was a kid, I did not know that the Weekly World News was fake tabloids or whatever.
Yeah, so like the Inquirer, Weekly War News. stuff
So
like
when
that.
I was in
The
first
Star.
grade, my teacher was like, "I want you guys to get a clipping out of the newspaper, put it on a poster board, and do a story about it."
John Bonet's still alive with Bat Boy.
So we go to school, right? We got this project, and all these kids doing. This is like the early '90s, so everybody's doing like shit. What's his fucking name? He's dead now. Saddam.
Oh yeah, Saddam.
They're like Saddam, There's a Storm, George Bush, the first one, some doing Reagan. Here comes my fat little ass. I got a picture of a farmer with a shotgun holding up a 6-foot grasshopper by his back legs. It says, "Corn farmer in Kansas kills like 6-foot grasshopper, saves his crop."
Holy shit!
So I was like, this is news? This is a fucking story to tell. So I can only imagine. My teacher didn't even correct me.
Well, that's nice.
Could you imagine?
She could have just railed your ass. He's like, "You dumb fucking hick."
Could you imagine my teacher going home after work? She goes home to her husband. She's like, "Oh, that
Popping the top on a fresh bottle of Jack Daniels.
like,
These
I got-
goddamn kids. 6-foot grasshopper. What kind of fucking world we living in?
But in my,
She just said the word youths.
but in my defense, my story seems just as real to me as believing the fact that Saddam Hussein runs all the oil in the world at the time. It's just,
Right.
so it's like a 6-year-old. It's like a 7 or 6. I said that backwards. A 6 or 7-year-old. It all seems the same. I didn't know who the fuck Saddam Hussein was at the time. I thought he was a guy on TV that waved at everybody on the news.
Yeah, he was the dictator of Iraq.
Yeah, I knew that now, but at 6, I was like, "Who's that guy with the mustache waving? He must be a nice fellow."
That's the guy that keep making fun of on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, it's like,
Who is this asshole? No, I remember the Weekly War News.
My day, they were the Mujahideen. Okay, Grandpa.
Yeah.
They fought beside us.
They
They
were-
were our friends.
Yes, Grandpa, they did. They did. And then they became the fucking Taliban. They started beheading motherfuckers left and right. And then the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia wanted some help. And we sent 500,000 strong and fought a war in 10 goddamn minutes to defend Kuwait. And the Taliban are like, "Well, we could have done it." And the Kuwait's like, "Shut the fuck up." And Saudi Arabia is just like, "Here's some money, America." I'm sorry, I just described all the whole history of the fucking Gulf War.
so
Maybe Ollie North hid a bunch of gold too during the Reagan administration.
So you know that made me think about something. I know a couple who are about to get married. Well, they might not now. They're about to get married.
Not after they hear this.
Well, they were fighting amongst themselves. So the girl wants to set her her wedding date for not September 11th, 2024.
Okay.
Her boyfriend is like, "No, it's fucking stupid. That's the bad day, whatever." And this is the comedy part about it. He wants to set the wedding date for December the 7th.
Pearl Harbor.
So I was like, so I heard him argue. So I said, "Don't you realize that
This is D-Day,
December
man.
says D-Day?" He's like,
that's Pearl.
Pearl Harbor.
That's the attack
Yeah,
on Pearl Harbor. DVD is June 6th,
yeah.
1944.
He's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Dude, you can't. December 6th is also a bad date." He's like, "No, well, nobody remembers that." I said, "You think anybody in 10 years is gonna remember fucking 9/11?" I said, "Every generation it gets a little less and less forgot about."
Yeah, there's a lot of important dates in American history that people just forget. Like you guys just called it D-Day. It's
The Pearl Harbor dates, I would say,
it's the
yeah.
opening salvo of the war.
I thought D-Day and Pearl Harbor were the same thing.
They were not.
D-Day is what, June 6th?
1944.
June.
That's when we stormed the beaches.
June 6th, 1944.
Yeah.
America stormed the beaches of
Gotcha.
Normandy
All right.
with the
You think I know
Canadians
that?
and Australians. And
Yeah, you think you would know that? You
I read a
already.
different textbook, man. My mom was.
Oh, and your
Give me
book
some-
is called The Invasion of America.
yeah, no. Hitler, the missteps. Auschwitz.
Fuck Germany, man.
Aw, come on.
It's cold and brutal there, dude.
They got good food.
Look, a lot of places have good
They
food.
got German women. They got a strong language. Damn strong language.
They have a word for everything. I will say that.
There's also that.
Yeah.
Strong language.
They build.
Yeah, it's like they're choking when they talk.
They're engineers.
Yeah, they're really.
They
good at
are good
engineering
at making
shit.
cars. I'll give them that one. And
I remember hearing a joke one time. It was about Russia and Poland, and it was before Ukraine decided to defend themselves. But it was what if Russia has started invading satellite countries again, like Lithuania, Ukraine,
thought that was like-
Crimea, and stuff like Georgia, and all those staying countries. Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, stuff like that. And one of the guys said, when the Germans pointed out, well, those rail lines still exist if they want to come over that fucking border. And I was just like, that's some cold shit to say for a German.
Dante.
Did he
Mikey might remember this. I think Mikey was there.
Did he make a bad joke about Germany?
No, Mikey. Dante believes that there's only one continent that's not connected to each other. Remember that?
There's Australia.
No, he said all the continents are connected to each other.
He said something. I said, "What about Australia?"
Or Antarctica.
He said Antarctica was the only continent not connected to any other. And I was like, "Australia's not."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yes, it is." I said, "Dude, look at the fucking
Africa is not connected to Europe. There's straits and whole seas that separate it.
I'll give you a pass on making that mistake on that one. But Australia's way the fuck by itself on the other side of the. It's about as far as you can get away from where we're sitting right now. It's about-
What's kind of wild is like New Zealand sits on the coast of Australia, and because the ocean has rised so much, New Zealand actually sits on its own base of continent called Zealandia.
I was about to say, so like, what about Hawaii? Hawaii's
Hawaii
technically
is
not in a continent.
No, so the definition of a continent and an island are different because in the Sea of China and the Pacific, islands pop up
Well, I
all
guess
the time.
it's a state, not a
Yeah,
nation.
well, like
never mind.
But like islands pop up all the time.
yeah, there's all kind of islands in the South Pacific, like crazy fucking
But like,
islands.
in the Pacific, islands pop up every now and then. They send a guy out there to map them, and then they disappear because they get washed away because volcanoes are constantly erupting undersea and creating land masses. So they don't stay very long. The continents we have here are mainstay land masses. So and have their own tectonic plates and shit like that. It's a whole geology thing. Maybe a new podcast about geology. Who fucking knows?
I like rocks.
Conspiracy. Is geology real?
No, it's a fake science, just like socialism or social studies.
How about Oh, sorry. You finish your thought. And now he's texting on the fucking podcast.
Yep.
Still not
What
as
about
bad.
that
Still not as bad
Elon
as
Musk
Don-
rocket where everyone's talking about it penetrated the sea in the sky? How it's
The
all just
firmament.
water. Yeah, the firmament.
So the firmament is an old school belief that is it actually an old like Bible belief that the sky is an ocean unto itself. This is a very layman's term. Wait,
I'm sitting in the damn microphone. Sorry, I was like,
and hey man, you're about to hear it. Yeah, through the firmament, man.
Don't get your book.
permanent in the stratosphere. Yeah,
Yeah.
God said you can't break it, but we did, or did we not? I don't know. You tell me. Elon Musk.
That's what we should have done to Macho Man Randy Savage. Sent him to space. That's where he belongs.
Before I forget this, let's finish up. Could you imagine if Macho Man wouldn't have died before podcasts got big and he had his own fucking podcast?
He'd
How
be on
great
Joe
that
Rogan
would have
first.
been.
He'd be on Joe Rogan first, and him and Jake the Snake Roberts would then have their own.
Yeah.
All you would hear like 5 minutes of the podcast, them slapping shit at somebody. What the fuck you talking about?
No, I would like to see him relaxed. Like he finally just relaxed. He's like, "Hello, my name
I
is
just smoked
Macho
some of
Man."
that.
He's
Weed
got his own cannabis company and fucking. He's selling kratom.
God damn.
Supposedly he smoked a lot of weed, so that was him. Calm down.
He also did a shit ton of coke.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't prove it. Conspiracy.
No, just looking at his face. The Spider-Man movie killed him. Okay, because he got super yoked for that.
I'm gonna get 3 minutes. 3 minutes. And he just has a fucking stroke.
Fucking dies.
He was actually wanting to be an actor his whole life, and he spent his whole life wrestling to learn that role.
Same thing.
No, well, that's what I like about wrestling now is because a lot of them are getting to break free from that to be actors, and they're actually doing good jobs. There are actually wrestlers who actually do great jobs at other shit, and people are just like, "Oh wow, that's crazy." It's like, no, it's not crazy. They're entertainers.
Right.
That's what they do.
Have you not
Alright.
seen Fast and the Furious?
I'm gonna step out for a second and invite my evil stepbrother in. Well, you know the one thing about wrestling is it's like acting and being your own stuntman all in one take live in front of people. You
Yeah, it's
get
like
no
good Jackie
retakes. I'm out. Fireball's back. Still real, damn it.
Right.
But you had earlier.
Only a master shot, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or no close-ups, motherfucker.
We were earlier we were talking about cities and how they're built. The 15-minute city is the idea of a centralized part with a suburb that's within 15 minutes of the center all the way out. This is actually the kind of the plan how China decides to build their city soon. We've already implemented that here in like smaller kind of areas. Charlotte is an example of a 15-minute city because you have center city and then you have outer parts that are basically their own little kingdoms. Basically, you have Plaza Midwood, you have Uptown, then you have the outer parts, which is Monroe.
That's the
Ballantyne.
25-minute city.
Yeah, but like,
Or 2 hours in traffic. You know?
but that's that's more because of the way North Carolina is, because North Carolina isn't as close together like the Northeast is, where New York is. You have New York City, and you got the rest of the fucking state that no one knows about, and no one fucking gives a shit about.
Right.
That's why North Carolina's become like a strong state now for like presidential elections, because most of the states Republican. That's been a new party, guys.
It's a purple state.
Yeah.
It's purple state. It's red
Because
and
of the
blue.
cities, Asheville and Charlotte mostly, it's Democrat, but the state is Republican.
Yeah, but another example of this is like Detroit. Detroit went through a revamp during the age of Ford and Chevrolet and GM.
Ted Nugent.
Yeah. Well, when they came up, they revamped how the city was done. You still had old money, but you had old money districts that existed in Detroit. So they were able to keep a stronghold in Detroit. But these new money guys who were new money by the time, or the Dodge brothers, Henry Ford, Chevrolet, and GM, when they come in and build all these factories inside the city, because that's how a city used to be. It used to be nothing but factories. They revamped the whole fucking thing and made roads only for cars. It used to, if you go back and watch old footage of cities, you see people in the streets walking around, swaths of people just walking around. No, you have carriages and you have a few cars here and there, but the streets were for people, and the streets
And the
were
people were for the streets.
Yeah,
They were street people.
but because these companies made it so affordable to have this crazy technology of a car, they made it to where cities were now designed around the car, and jaywalking became a crime. Because back in the day, people were getting killed by cars left and fucking right all the time. Like, we talk about how bad things are now. No, you walk down Charlotte, you would have got hit by a car and fucking died, and no one gave a shit.
But you had to be a real dumbass for it to happen, because I'm going to tell you why. Back then, those cars went like 25 miles per hour tops.
So you would hear Freddie's story? The first two cars in Tennessee wrecked. They hit each other. The first two cars ever to be in Tennessee at the same time hit each other in Nashville.
Have you seen the news story of where they made drinking and when they made the rule where you couldn't have open containers in the car anymore? Have you seen the reels for
yeah.
it? Where
the old one?
Yeah, it's like
The old one from the 80s?
Yeah.
What is this guy? What kind of country is it?
I thought this was America.
Yeah, it's basically Randy fucking Marsh. He's like, what kind of world is it where I can't just pop open a six-pack after work? Why can't a man enjoy a good six-pack? And I remember being a kid. You probably do too. It was like, my dad would pop open a fucking beer on the way to pick my ass up from school.
I remember before they passed the rule in South Carolina, which is where I grew up, riding, I'd be sitting in the back seat with my uncles, and there'd be a license check, and my uncle handed a beer to my other uncle, because you could drink in the car, you just couldn't drive and drink.
Yeah.
Right.
So he would hand the beer to my other uncle, and he would drink it when they did the license check.
Which makes sense to me.
Well, like, another thing about this is like the idea of just open container is the crime.
That's what I'm saying. That's a
If I
that's
got
a
somebody in the
stretch.
back seat who's popping a top on a
Right.
couple, and I've been driving for a
Going
while.
down the road with your band.
Yeah.
There's 6 of you.
What's crazy is you can't do it in a car, but you can in an RV,
Right.
which is just it's a big car with beds
Well, look, I used to
that you don't need a special license to drive either.
And a fridge.
I used to buy Twisted Teas, and I'd get Mikey knows about this.
Twisted T's and Plan B's. Here we
I
go.
would get a QT.
Oh, shit.
I would get
Fireball's coming to town.
Did you come up with that?
No, I heard it somewhere else.
Damn it.
I would get a QT cup full of ice, pour the Twisted Tea in it, and just sip it out like a straw, and ride. If I was going to drink and drive.
Dude, I got pulled over for having a fucking cream soda in a bottle because they thought it was a fucking beer.
On the way to my house.
Yeah, I got pulled over on the way here one time because I had a Bull's fucking cream soda, but it looks like a fucking basically it looks like a Corona.
An IBCs or whatever.
The IBCs, yeah. I used to get. I got pulled over when I was a teenager for this because I had.
Did they ask to search your vehicle?
They said they asked, but I said no.
Yeah.
I said I'm not.
So wild that they would even ask.
I said
You already showed them it was.
Well, he's like, I want to have you do a sobriety test. I'm going to search your car. I was like, I'll do the sobriety test, but you can't search my car. And he's like, do you got a problem with that? I'm like, you can get a supervisor. Because I'm just like, I'm very.
God, I wish you got tased on the fucking internet.
Oh man, don't tase me, bro. Fucking, that's a law.
That's a lawsuit and a half.
Especially in Charlotte, they got all that big fucked up money where they fuck up and they pay me.
Yeah,
dude. I don't know how we can get funded for the podcast. Let's go out and break a minor
Drink
law.
and drive.
No, it's not drink and drive. That's dangerous. Let's break a minor law.
Before you can finish to say, but the law of conspiracy to commit a crime is a crime in and of itself. So ignorance of the law is not going to protect you on that. Because I'm telling you right now, if you say that on a podcast, that like, hey, let's go out and commit a minor crime, that's called conspiracy to commit a crime.
Well, I'm voting if I was going to do it. I'm using quotations. You guys can verify that, right?
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
Commit a crime.
Let's go commit a small crime, and when the cop shows up,
no differential for misdemeanor or felony.
Let's just show our ass till they tase us and pepper spray us.
Show our actual asses.
What? No, it's hard to get.
I can see this on WBTV just playing the excerpt from this fucking show, and then it's just like everybody's public support for us just goes into the shitter. The GoFundMe pages are shut down.
Somebody dial 911, and then we'll go stand in the front yard with our pants around our ankles just see what the fuck happens.
Let's go to the roof, Chris, and fire up a couple of joints.
Okay, a light misdemeanor, discretion of the police. Okay,
and the cops show up like, no, we're not leaving until we finish our steak and potatoes. We paid for this, damn it. This guy, if you take me to jail now, this guy don't get a tip. Now you're fucking over the people. They drag us out. We start screaming, Attica, Attica, whatever.
Fucking dog day afternoon.
They fucking tase us. Somebody's videotaping it. Hey. We might get paid.
We might not.
Or we spend a week in jail.
We might get a video and the narrator who's holding the fucking phone like, what a dumbass. Like you get your shit kicked in and your teeth knocked the fuck
This
out.
guy's smoking skunk weed in a roof, Chris. He got the cheapest steak he could get. What a fucking
my
peasant.
ass will be inside the house through the blinds. Man, this wrestling looks real as fuck.
Look how Fireball sells when that taser hits him. He shit himself.
Oh man, you don't get that kind of shit on Raw.
He's doing the Steven Seagal.
Yeah, he's doing this.
And for those who listen to this during the comedy, those are called callbacks, Dante. If you listen to this, comedy, bitch,
cold blooded. But before we continue, you have your own podcast, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell us about that one real quick.
It's called Haggard with Fireball because I call it Haggard because it's a very low budget thing. Everything I do is low budget. I'm just kind of a low budget kind of guy. It's about everything. It's about some serious stuff. For the longest time it was labeled on Spotify as a government podcast. I don't know what that was about. It finally changed.
Yeah.
It's now sports entertainment.
Right.
But it was government for the longest time. I don't know why.
Did you talk about current events on there? Or?
It's still barely even sports entertainment.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but it's a podcast. I do talk about current events. Basically, it's I recap or rehash whatever I'm doing that week or what has happened that past week. And then I talk to people, whoever, about whatever.
So, go to actually, kind of recent news that kind of talks about, neighborhoods and cities and stuff. Jeff Bezos just dropped $500 million on single family homes to buy.
Who is Jeff Bezos?
Jeff Bezos
is the former CEO of Amazon.
Yeah. Second richest man in the world, I think, or probably his first.
Something like that. But anyway, I think Elon Musk is first.
I don't know. It's tangible. I'm talking about tangible money, not fucking stocks and bonds. Jeff Bezos owns people. Stuff you could touch. But no, he just dropped $500 million in buying these little true home. These 99 homes they set up every now and then. I don't know if anybody's paid attention lately, but the housing market is plumb tuckered with these fucking fabricated homes.
Yeah, I know.
And they look weird as fuck. This one, because I used to do solar. I used to go to these neighborhoods all the time to put solar panels in. And what's weird is like this, you could tell is aged differently from the other ones because the other ones are now these giant block houses. You know, this still looks like, if you go for the front of Mikey's house, it looks like kind of an older house. It's new, but it has, gables, it has arches and stuff. When you look at some of these other houses, they look like giant bricks with roofs on them.
Yeah.
Like giant fucking cubes.
Basically, like fucking.
Starting at the low 400s.
Yeah, what the
So look, let me tell you a story about
At
that.
10%, that's a year salary. At 10 fucking %, that's a year salary.
So when I was young and stupid yesterday,
Yeah.
I was younger yesterday than I am today. True story. I was looking for a place to stay. I saw a sign that said like lower 200s. I thought so embarrassing to tell this. I've done my fucking. Keep in mind this is like 2004. All right. So I thought that was like the rent was like $200 a month or something. So I went there to try to talk to these people. It's like these $200,000 houses, and I was like, and $200,000 is a lot of money now.
Yeah.
But it was a shit ton of lot of money 20 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a decent sized house.
Yeah.
Yeah. This say I didn't live there. So,
No, didn't move in right away. Huh?
and speaking about that, I met a guy this past week. So Mikey will like this story. You know where Tremont used to be at?
Unfortunately.
Now there's like condos there now.
Yeah.
Like penthouses.
Yep.
I talked to a guy this past week who lives there. Do you know what his rent is a month for that penthouse?
$3,500.
Oh, it's probably more than that.
48.
I'd say like 65.
You both are wrong. $10,000 a month.
Damn.
120,000 a year.
What the fuck does he do?
I don't know.
Coke. He does coke because if I'm going to live in a $120,000 a year place, I'm doing coke, and I'm not snorting it. I'm freebasing it by the ounce, not gram.
What was it Dante
I'm not
said?
piddling that
Freeballing
shit. I'm burning that shit.
Freeloading cocaine.
Yeah.
Freebasing. Yeah, it's called freebasing.
Well, guess what?
That's freeloading if you ask Dante.
Yeah. You ain't never want to pay for drugs.
That's Dante freeloading.
Oh, see one of those guys that goes to the coke dealer's house, does their coke, and then goes in on a bag and then leaves, but never goes in.
I'm running the car to get my money, guys.
Hey, where did your buddy go? Fuck if I know.
This was the $10,000.
You can do that like 12 dozen times before the dealer's like, don't come back.
Well, if you bring your girlfriend with you, you get free coke. I learned that from ex-girlfriends.
If you leave her in the house,
Yeah. Like you leave without your girlfriend.
you leave with an 8 ball and she stays
Mike,
for
can
a
I
ball
record
or
for like
two.
15 minutes, man? I gotta buy something. It's like, what? Now, she always left me, but if you go, because they think hot girls will do things for drugs eventually.
Eventually.
Like, they know she's with me tonight, but when she gets hooked,
Then she won't look like a hot girl anymore, though.
well, she goes from a 9 to a 7 or 6 or 5 or those guys.
A 9 and 10 in jail. 10 to 20 in prison.
But the $10,000 a month rent guy, I was busting his balls about it. This was his retort to me busting his balls. Well, I get a free parking space and free dry cleaning.
Oh,
I was like,
that's your amenities? Well, I'll be damned.
I said, well, shit, fuck me.
Free parking?
At $10,000,
One free parking spot.
at $10,000, they were going to send me a call girl like every other Wednesday. Like,
And this is what I told him. I said, dude, you know,
no, fuck that, every Wednesday. Okay.
I
Or a
told him,
quote unquote massage.
I told him, I said, dude,
full Pat's ownership kind of massage.
if you take 2 months of your rent and just put it in the bank, you can put a killer down payment on any fucking house you wanted. And with the money that you're obviously making to pay $10,000 a month for rent, you could pay off a $400,000 house in like 5 years.
It's fucking nuts, man. Like,
Bitches love penthouses, man.
I've never been in one. Couldn't tell you nothing about it. I seen them in the TV and I used to read the magazine.
penthouses are for businessmen and crime.
Yeah.
Usually the same thing. But like, because businessmen are criminals. Yeah, laws are threats. But no, man, it kind of goes. It kind of goes back to like, there's no way to afford. You know, we think we're in a bubble. We're not. We're just in an ebb and flow of pricing, and I don't see the housing market going down anytime soon because they're still going to keep building and building and building. It doesn't matter if people live in them; they're investments because now you're turning houses into. Well, you're not just commodities. You're changing it from equity to high risk equity. Which, if you lose high risk equity, you're okay as a business. But if we, as a person, lose high risk equity, we're fucked. We're left holding the bag. It's a weird kind of thing that kind of goes into Hollywood too. Or it was just like, hey, we're going to make a couple seasons of a show and cut it off after 3 seasons and count it as a loss. That's why like a lot of shows we used to watch as kids don't exist on streaming, is because whole swaths of shows are bought by companies and they're just like, no, that we can't stream it because now it's at a loss.
Buck Rogers.
But like Captain Planet, SWAT Cats, these are all Turner properties, and guess what? You can't watch them now because Turner got bought out by someone else. Warner.
It was AOL.
It was Carsey Warner. Then it was AOL. Now it's whatever the fuck Viacom is called now. Fucking X Corp. But but like
Dr. Wiley at the helm.
But they take those properties, count them as a loss, and never show them on streaming ever again. So that's why you don't see them on streaming. That's why only the bigger and more entertaining ones stayed on, like The Simpsons, shit that still runs.
Tell me SWAT Cats wasn't entertaining?
No, it was. But what I'm saying is they got rid of it and counted it as a loss, so they don't have to stream it.
I do know. I've noticed.
SWAT Cats was the baddest fucking animated show for a very long time.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of your streaming shows, like your old shows, they're either under the CBS umbrella, NBC, or ABC umbrella. It's like
so ABC's Disney. So So you're dealing with a lot of, this is another conspiracy part of it. It was just like entertainment only continues as it can either make high dollar value for the investment, but not medium range investment. So like they're going in, hey, I'm going to make a $120 million movie. It better hit the fucking $1 billion mark. Period. That's it. If it doesn't hit the $1 billion mark, we jump that shit, and it's a loss. And we still get paid because it's a write-off now. Because when you run a business and you operate a business at a loss, it's a write-off. That's still a factor in this country, which is kind of fucking weird when you think about it, that you can operate at a loss and still come out clean on the other side.
That's how Steven Seagal survived all those years.
Yeah. He came out on top. He's
just always losing.
That's why there was never Under Siege 3. But he's always doing those movies where he's like barely running. Straight to DVD. Straight to DVD. And he's just like, I know karate or whatever the fuck it's called. Aikido, yeah. Nah.
They still a true story about the time he shit his pants. I mean, that's a conspiracy. We don't know if it's true. We just hear stories. And
I believe the man that told it.
And apparently, from what I've been reading, because I went on a I'm stuttering. I went on a Steven Seagal kick recently because he's on Tubi. All his movies on Tubi right now.
Operating at a loss.
He's doing real good for himself.
So I'm watching them. I've been watching them all. And so I've been like reading stuff about him online, and it turns out like he's just like full of shit.
Yeah. He's an asshole.
He's worse than Elvis.
Like he's an asshole in Hollywood. That's why no one likes working with him.
Is he in Hollywood though?
But he was. But that's why when they made those Expendable movies, he was on the list of people not to fucking call.
Well, when I was reading about him, so basically this is how he learned everything. When he was like 18, he left America to go to Japan to avoid the draft and go to Vietnam.
Yep. He left his wife too. Don't forget that. He left his wife.
Well, he married another woman.
Yeah, but he was still married to the woman here.
There he did learn some kind of martial arts.
Aikido.
And then he dipped down on her.
Yep.
The Japanese came back. He got divorced.
He said he fought Yakuza.
Yeah.
Okay.
These guys don't fight. They cut your ass in half and put you in a wood chipper.
So, for those who don't know about Yakuza, that's the Japanese mafia, right?
Yeah.
So, the Japanese mafia is so fucking known and feared. It's the only people... Trying how to put this one. So, you guys probably don't know who these cats are.
That makes it better.
Well, I don't know what you guys know about wrestling nerd-wise.
Yeah.
So, the Japanese mafia is the only people that can scare these motherfuckers, like Big Van Vader, Abdullah the Butcher, Terry Funk, Bruiser Brody.
Yeah.
They scared these motherfuckers to play ball in Japan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, whatever. Plus, when people say, I'll go back to that in a minute, I'm jumping. When people say mafia, we all joke about it, but I take that shit seriously because I've seen situations in my life where there's been mafia stuff involved. Like, I go back to what I was going to say. I've had a run in with the Russian mafia one time. When I was in South Korea, when I was in the military, I was dating a Russian girl. There was a club on the strip called the What was it called?
Land of the Rising Sun.
No, that's Japan.
Yeah.
They really, you go ahead and bring that up in fucking Korea, they'll fucking slaughter you. Because the Korea's
They would
Japanese.
taekwondo your ass.
Yeah, you know what they say? South Korea's got soul.
The Sun Club, called Sun Club. So
Welcome,
it's,
white man.
it's full of like what they call Russian drinky girls. They're not prostitutes.
The good time girls.
Yeah, they're girls who have fun. You go pay them money. You might get the fuck, you might not, but they also might marry you. And they're fucking hot as shit. Like, you think Courtney's hot? They make her look like a dog. An ugly dog.
I'll be sure to tell Courtney that she's almost as good looking as a Russian whore from Seoul. That's exactly how I want to put it. Because Fireball said, you're good looking, but you're not Russian whore in Seoul, Korea hot.
But anyway, so like I was messing with this Russian
She's
girl.
gonna beat my ass when I tell her that. She's gonna squat me because I've been watching her. I've been seeing her fucking post that show up on my feed with everybody else's bullshit. Her just deadlifting motherfuckers.
She gonna CrossFit your ass.
Yeah, with her, she's in a cult.
So I go there with this girl, and I've been buying her stuff. We've been hooking up. She wanted to get married. I was like,
Hell
yo,
yeah.
I'm gonna play this game until I have to leave Korea. I ain't marrying this
Put her in a
bitch.
cargo box and bring her home.
And I'm getting that Camaro as soon as I get back to the States, baby.
Yeah, man. We with that car, we're gonna go cruising, man. We're gonna go cruising with my new legs.
So
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just picturing you. It's like what you think is Vietnam, but it's just like a rural part of Korea where you guys are just drunk and just pissed off a bunch of farmers who are kicking your ass.
you know how accurate that is. That's really true. And it wasn't Camaro. It was Mustangs. It was Mustangs.
We're gonna get my Mustang, go cruising, man. Me and you and my hooker wife.
So
This just turns into Platoon right before everything goes to shit.
it's the mid part. It's the mid part of Full Metal Jacket.
Oh,
After boot
love
camp-
me long time. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
So anyway, I'm in this club with the girl, and I've been buying her stuff. We've been hanging out. I guess we quotations been dating. And then one day she wanted me to buy her some shoes. They love fashion, and these are some expensive ass shoes, dude. And I'm like, no.
Some Nike Airs or something.
And she, some kind of high heels.
Some Jordans, man.
Something versatile.
And she's Russian, so she's been drinking. That's a true stereotype. And she loses her shit, and she jumps on top of me. I fall on top of this counter bar type deal. She pulls her stiletto out. It's trying to fucking stab me and call me a pig. And I'm like, fucking bitch, crazy whore, what the fuck? You know, all the things you call a lady you love.
Heat of the moment.
Yeah. So and all of a sudden, there's like 4 or 5 dudes come out of the back. Russian guys, big motherfuckers, bald headed, in suits and tie. They snatch her up. It's like, you leave here and never come back again. And I was like,
Word.
word up. You gotta tell me shit. And then I remember like all my buddies was like, let's go back to the Sun Club. I was like, nope, I'm not going.
Sir.
You guys can go. I'm not going. Fuck y'all.
That's still a better story than Burt Kreischer's dumbass story.
Yeah.
What's this story?
His movie.
It's The Machine. It's fucking stupid. It's all fake, too.
My story's real.
Yeah, that's what I like.
I told her, I was like, oh, you know what? You tell me to leave, I'm fucking leaving. And my dad had to run in with a mob in Ohio one time. My dad used to build casinos.
Okay.
And they started off in North Carolina. Then it became legal in South Carolina. You're gambling.
Yeah.
And so the boss man, my dad's boss, was like spreading out. My dad was a construction worker. He was the main foreman. So they lived in West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. So Ohio's next state there. They go in Ohio, start building. The fucking mob shows up and tells them to get the fuck out.
Yeah, because Cleveland and
Yeah.
Cincinnati are all mobbed up.
And my dad was like, okay, pack the shit and fucking just left.
Okay.
The boss man called and was like, when ain't you started the job in Ohio yet? He's like, dude.
Teamster showed up and kicked me off.
He's like, you have no permits up there.
Oh, there's your first part.
Yeah, he's like, nothing's set, and there's guys saying we can't do it, and I'm not going up there. Besides, we're getting too big for our britches, you know. Because then we found out that they could have built there, but they have to pay somebody money, which is the mob, and that just get to. They would have to be millionaires. Not my dad, but the boss man being down here in the Carolinas.
So I think at one time the mob was probably at their peak. Right before they went downhill, it was probably the 80s. I think the mob still exists, but not in the same capacity as they used to.
Well, it's so hard now because technology now.
Yeah, the real mob is a business.
Yeah.
A-
LLCs, baby.
But like a real mob is, you know, your Fortune 500 company. That's a real fucking mob because they set the game, they set the board.
The Albanians, though.
Yeah, well, that's Albania.
Yeah.
But like we were talking about, you
Not that I'm mad at any Albanians, Russians, or whatever the fuck's in Ohio.
the Italians,
Whatever mob that is.
the Italians.
They were white. They were white guys. So is Italian white?
Depends on what part of the country you go to. Because I told my dad that one time. I said, you know, a lot of people don't consider Italian people white, and he's like, what? And then I was like, yeah, why don't you talk to some of those good old boys you work with down at the factory? And he did. And he's like, what the fuck is a Dago? And because he had never heard that before. But my dad went from the rural South all the way to the Army. So that's all he knew.
Right.
Okay. So my dad didn't know what an omelet was until he went to the Army.
That's the way I was pretty much growing
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. So like he grew up in tobacco fields. He didn't know anything else other than work with Mexicans, pick tobacco, go to church. That's it. And then he goes in the Army, sees the world, goes to Seoul, sees a guy get murdered in broad fucking daylight.
Dude.
Marries a Thai woman, lived in Georgia, ran a bar. You know.
Just remember that scene from True Romance.
Oh, Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken. Tony Soprano just happened to stand in the back too. Everybody forgets this. But he's like, well, you know what they call Italians. And folks, I want you guys to look that shit up. And you can tell us in the Discord what you think about it. But no.
You know, that's like taking the slang out of it, the racial terms to it. That is legit. That's true.
Yeah.
They did that. They tried to like weed them out. I looked that up. That's the true thing they did.
Yeah. But no, that's
Trying to weed Mikey out of here.
you know, his German half Nazi.
Either you in or you out, dude. You can't be lukewarm.
Yeah.
I've seen you enjoy those strudels.
Showers weren't lukewarm.
Cold blooded.
So can I ask Mike a conspiracy question
Yeah.
about his life?
You go ahead.
Try my best to answer this.
Are you only with Courtney because she's blonde hair?
No.
Well, sure as hell doesn't hurt.
It made my mom really happy to meet her.
Yeah. Ha 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 ha.
You met my mom.
I
My
have.
mom has brunette hair and brown eyes.
That's how I found she was German. I heard her talking. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
what the fuck?
You didn't know before then?
No.
Shit.
Well, you don't sound German because you've been in America your whole life.
It's because his last name's Black. Back over there, it was Blaskowitz. Of Blachtenberg.
And I was like, is she put on a fake accent?
Are you the Blackenbergs from Ravensbrook?
So, what's it like being German in America?
No one knows I'm German until I tell them.
I mean, so is your household, now that you're older, you've been around other people,
Right.
growing up, was it different growing up in your household than what all your friends grew up as?
Well, you were a Jehovah's Witness for a little while.
A little while, but even before then, it was different.
Oh, she was a Nazi Jehovah's Witness?
First, no. They do not
Yes.
like Jehovah's Witnesses. That's a fact.
Well, his mom was a Nazi Jehovah's Witness.
Nazis don't like Jehovah's Witnesses. You can learn more about that on History We Forgot with me and Christy Phillips.
Good plug.
Yeah, quick one.
Wait, so, well, answer the question.
My mom's not a fucking Nazi.
But grandma.
Yeah, okay.
My grandma on the other end.
But growing up, was it,
I'm just making the message in the
did
group
you grow
chat.
up, did you grow up with Jewish customs in your house? Like stuff?
We're Jewish.
Did I say Jewish?
Yes.
I meant German, my bad. I get confused.
Did you have German customs growing up?
German customs, sorry.
I don't think so, no. My dad's like hardcore American, so it kind of balanced it out.
Kind of weeded itself
So
out.
your dad's doing this part by weeding out the German. Alright.
My mom's a generation of like Berlin Wall coming down kind of German. And she was on the right side of the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She was on the capitalist side.
Yeah.
Not the
Dude, that was
communist
a big.
side.
So I was a kid when that happened, and I barely
1989.
remember it. And I remember that was like all over the news everywhere, dude. It was in school, people talking about it.
It
I was
is a-
like, I don't understand why they couldn't just jump the wall.
My parents had a piece of it for a while. I
they
think
would.
They still do.
Well, as a kid, I didn't understand. I didn't understand why they just didn't.
Yeah.
So you should ask your mom one time, dude. You should get your mom. We should do a legit, real podcast, like a serious one. Where ask your mom what was life like growing up for her.
All right, we'll do it.
That'd be probably some educational, like,
Get
cool
a few
shit.
drinks in her, man. She'll.
I'll make it a whole. Make it
Oh,
a,
is it fucking?
I was about to say she'll probably speak German for a solid 10 minutes.
hell yeah.
They took that with the stencil
What's,
and blasted the rock and roll.
What's your ethnic background there? We're just going all over the road. This is Fireball episode.
Yeah.
What's your ethnic background, Fireball?
What I know
Cinnamon whiskey and vodka?
what I know for sure, my great grandmother, which I met, she lived till I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
She was 100% Catawba Indian.
Okay.
So I guess I'm 25% Catawba.
Give or take, yeah.
I know that on my other side, on my mama's side, my grandparents, which I knew them as well, my great grandparents, I knew them. They came to America right at the turn of the century.
Okay.
From Ireland.
Okay, yeah. So that's a big turning point for the
So
Irish.
yeah. I'm Irish Indian.
Okay.
Is mostly what I am.
Sounds gay to me.
And I do know there's like some other shit on the way, probably like whoever banged who.
Well, peel me a potato on the Trail of Tears. I tell you what.
But well, we were Catawba, not Cherokee. I probably had Cherokee in me, but everybody claims that in America.
Yeah, sure.
I was like, dude, everybody can't be Cherokee.
No.
But Catawba Indian and Irish American is all I know. And I'm sure there's some other stuff in there.
You ever want to do one of those 23andMe's?
I want to, but I'm scared because of conspiracy reasons. So.
Well, that's how the Golden State Killer got caught, was because his one of his relatives, close relatives, I believe it was his niece, they did a 23andMe, and they ask you in the survey, do you want to be part of the I think it's called like VTAC or something, which is like a DNA database, which helps solve crimes for unknown offenders.
Right.
And so she checked fucking yes, and they're like, hey, someone closely related to you, most likely an uncle or a great uncle, is the Golden State Killer. And that's one of the ways they found him. He was 80 years old when they got him. He was a former cop that raped and murdered a shit ton of people in fucking California.
That happened last year in Rock Hill, South Carolina. There was a murder, an unsolved murder from 1984. Happened in Charlotte. They had DNA, but back then the DNA didn't even exist. Like test.
Yeah, well, yeah, 1986 is when DNA decides.
So the case is cold until 2022. They put it back up. They run the thing just to see. They get a hit. They find a guy that's like, I can't remember the percent, but it's like extremely close, but not close enough to be the killer, the murderer.
Right.
So they go to this guy. The guy's like 29 years old. So this guy wasn't even alive when it happened. They find out it was his dad
Yeah.
that fucking did it. And his dad was like in the next room, just
Chilling.
like, he was old as shit. He was like in his 80s by then.
Right.
Fucking just 70s probably.
He had it coming. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it turns out he killed a woman
Oh,
and her child. It was his girlfriend at the time.
Damn it, I'm just
he
gonna
killed
shut
her and a kid. In 1984. In 2022, he's probably sitting in the back bedroom smoking cigarettes, watching fucking Jeopardy, and
Yeah.
the cops show up. It's like, so
What is Nuremberg? Yes. Do, 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 do. Open the fucking door. Hey, what was that? Alex Trebek still got it. I tell you what.
You gotta think, if you kill somebody, what was that? 37 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Would you even think he's gonna get caught in 37 years?
No,
You probably forgot about it.
well, like a lot of things about cold cases is like when you come across like DNA evidence, you know, they started to develop it in 1986. That's when they had the breakthrough. It doesn't become part of actual court, like on the main stage, until O.J. Simpson, and that's 94, 95. And that was the first time DNA was actually used in a major trial. And guess what? He still got away with it. He still got acquitted. I'm not saying he's guilty, but he fucking did it.
You think he did it, Mikey?
I don't have enough knowledge on the situation.
He chopped a white lady's head off and killed her boyfriend.
Well, I know what happened, but I didn't.
He ran for 11,000 yards too, so that's fucking impressive.
Apparently, that gets you a long way in life if you go that many yards.
Yeah. Back to him. Yeah.
And it was a naked gun as well.
Yep, naked gun, and he was too polite to be the Terminator. That's what he was going to be in the running for being a Terminator. They said he was too polite.
I don't think he did it. But I think he had something to do with it. I don't think he physically murdered him, but I think you know who did.
I'm pretty sure he. Yeah,
He watched.
In
at least.
my opinion, I believe he chopped his wife's head off with that fucking knife and stabbed that poor waiter to death.
Was it Goldblum or
Goldman,
Goldman? Yeah.
Ron Goldman, and I think John Benet Ramsey was killed by her brother. But that's a whole different story. If you want to talk about popular crime,
Here on the Crime Podcast.
that's actually part of Couch Potatoes. We actually have that murder show, so that'd be fun to talk about conspiracy murders. But
I don't know that many murders, though, really.
I have. There's a lot out there that are just batshit insane. Like, you think Making of a Murderer piss you off, or like, you know, the OJ trial or John Benet Ramsey or something like that. There are so many out here that are just batshit insane that people are just getting away with willy fucking nilly. It's fucking shocking as hell too.
I'm sure back in the day, it was very easy to kill somebody and get away. For example, let's say it's 1971. I could just decide right now to stab the shit out of all y'all and leave, and they would never know it was me.
No, most likely not. Not without, you know, some kind of alibi.
Right.
Yeah, that's how. When you bring that up, that's how Ted Bundy got away with a lot of shit, because he just showed up, killed some people, and left, and went to another state and just kept doing it and kept doing it, and then he got caught. Odds out of the what 120 million people that lived in the United States at the time, I think it was like 200 million that wanted 200 million, motherfucker. Nah, there's not just one. There's multiple.
Yeah.
But even the FBI has stated there's at least 200 active serial killers in the United States at all times.
Yeah, you fit the description.
Yeah,
Serial killer.
I'm in my 30s. I'm a white male. I'm a straight white male in my mid 30s. Yeah, that's mostly fucking all of them. You get these outliers. Like oh, we got a guest.
Which?
But no, you get these outliers that you get these outliers that just show up.
Who's that?
Oh, that's Mr. Hammer showing up for the show.
Ah,
Welcome aboard. But
we
yeah,
started at 4:13, asshole. I was late too, but I'm like school kids.
Hour, 5 minutes.
But yeah, so like when you're talking about, you know, general conspiracy about murder, the odds itself are just like, oh yeah, there's a shit ton of bad people.
Hey. God damn, they don't like you, dude.
They didn't even bark at me, man. They come sniff my balls and say hello.
You're bringing demons to my home.
Literally, one dog went for my nuts. I went for my ass. They sniffed me real good. He's good.
Clear.
Get a little clear you, man. Get a little clear you. They're sniffing you out.
Here you go.
He just bites his fucking dick off.
Actually, dogs, this is a true story. Dogs prefer to bite from the back end.
Oh.
In your throat.
Show me ass.
That's why you should turn your back on a dog, because they will fucking light your ass up when you turn your back on them.
Like their asses.
They
Shit.
taught that when I worked for Amazon, during the training, they told us to not do that.
Turn your back on them?
Turn it back on them and always have your mace out. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna mace some fucking dude's dog. I got some dog treats. I
used to carry the little jerky.
yeah,
When I deliver stuff.
the chewy thing. Just
Yeah.
like, get out of here.
So I was doing delivery one time. We're not recording, right?
We are.
No, keep it in.
That's
I'll
cool.
just edit it out.
That's cool. It's whatever.
Yeah.
So I was delivering one time, and I was delivering some car parts. Went to a customer, hit his
Car
garage.
parts, quote unquote.
Yeah.
His garage
It was a bitch in a box.
was behind, his garage is behind his house, right? So I'm snacking on a Pop-Tart. I set it in the console.
Quote unquote Pop Tart.
I leave the truck door open. I get out, run the guy's stuff quick, come get back in the truck. Put it in gear, start backing out. There's a little fucking dog.
Oh, no.
Sitting in the passenger seat, and my Pop-Tart's going. And the little dog's just looking at me like, "What's up, dude?" And the guy, I can't remember the dog's name. I'm gonna make a name up. The guy comes out, "Biscuit, get out of that man's truck." It was some crazy redneck name.
Dude, the whole time I didn't deliver long, but like the whole time I did, the big dogs were the best.
Yeah.
Like the golden retrievers, the mastiffs, even like the big pit bulls and shit are fucking babies. It's these little goddamn Shih Tzus, Lhasa Apsos, man. The Shawns, I'm kicking the shit out of them. I'm just like, they're big as my shoe.
I have a friend. His dad is a professor at a university. Very smart man. Very like
Quote unquote
very quiet,
Nazi ties.
like very smart. He kind of talks like this, like very
ASMR
monotone.
video.
And then I've known him for years, and he tells me the story about how he was working construction while he was in college, and they were putting up a fence. And this dog, it was like a chihuahua, comes out of nowhere and just starts yapping at him, and it won't stop. And so the fence is 4x4 posts of wood that they're using as the fence posts.
Yeah.
Or at least the corners of the fence. And he said that he took it and like hit the dog. Like he was just gonna like tap it in the head to get it to shut up and go away, and it fucking killed it.
Fuck.
So they buried it in the concrete.
That's what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. That's what they did to Jimmy Hoffa.
They hit him in the head with a stick.
They hit him in the head with a stick because he wouldn't shut the fuck up about Kennedy being a piece of shit, and they popped him in the head and threw him in the goddamn Meadowlands. That's why he's under the 50-yard line. They buried him deep under Jet Stadium. He's part of the balcony seating.
I got a Chihuahua story.
Like fucking Han Solo in Carbonite. It's Jimmy Hoffa giving the finger. He's part of Pillar B that holding up the Jets fucking stadium. Piece of shit.
I got a Chihuahua story kind of like that. I didn't kill it.
I don't consider those dogs, man. I consider those rats.
Back when I was in high school, I was training for wrestling season. So I'm jogging down the road. Little fucking Chihuahua comes up, just fucking yipping. So I fucking punt that son of a bitch, dude. He's going, right?
You're Jack Black from Anchorman. You just kicked the fucking dog off a bridge.
That's kind of how it was, real. The next day, I'm running that route again, same route, running again, right? I see the little fucking dog yapping again. He runs behind the building, behind the house. Comes back around the house with a big ass fucking German Shepherd.
He's got my bro.
And the German sits there, he sits there and is like looking at me like, what? I swear, he's like, what? I went from like jogging to like picking up rocks as fast as I could, dude. I didn't run that route anymore.
No, fuck that. Fuck that route.
Another dog story, and about scared me. It was the best workout I ever had in my life. I used
Cop dog going after this.
I used to ride my bike
Skippy.
like miles, right? Like
The fucking Belgian Malinois. It's just meat rocket.
So I used to ride my bike like miles a day, like 15, 20 miles.
Some bear mastiff with a midget on top.
Close. I used to wear sauna suits with sweaters. So I sweat and lose all this like weight for wrestling, right?
It didn't work.
And one day I'm like, it didn't work. So one day I'm riding far away, dude. I'm like way out there, and I'm gassed and getting tired. I pass this goat farm. This big ass fucking like white sheep herder dog comes chase after my ass. And dude, I'm fucking.
God, it's the White Knight.
Dude, I'm pedaling like literally like 40 miles per hour. Like just trying to get in a good half a mile. That dog was on my ass the whole way. And then when I got to the end, luckily I had actually kind of a downcline hill. I was kind of go a little faster. And the dog finally gave up, went back to the goats. But dude, I remember my fucking calves and hamstrings were hurting so bad,
Just
man.
burning.
Fuck that dog. He's got a scary, big ass white dog, man. Gigantic son of a bitch.
Dogs ain't real.
Yeah, dogs ain't real.
Conspiracy.
It's a goddamn conspiracy.
They're just small bears.
Yep.
Going back to the 15-minute city, if we could.
Yeah. Let's go back to your original conspiracy.
I was visiting some extended family over the holidays, and they live in rural, middle of nowhere mountains in North Carolina.
Okay. Like what?
And they
Boone?
had. I'm not gonna say it on the podcast.
Black Mountain.
There's people after me.
They're not crazy. He's not crazy. That's
They
what
live in the mountains of Iran, North Carolina.
Iran, North Carolina.
But they have signs that say "Vote No against Dollar General in blank city or town."
I support that.
Yeah, I think I do too.
I like Dollar General at first.
When you're a kid, Dollar General's okay. When you're an adult, it's like they're mile markers, basically. It's just like, oh, which part of town you on? Oh, the Dollar General over there next to that used to be the Family Video.
Next to them.
Well, I started noticing what y'all talking about with the 15-minute city deal, 15-minute city deal, and Dollar Generals. Last year, I was driving from Rock Hill, South Carolina, to Spartanburg, South Carolina.
$45 Generals.
It was like 7 frill on the back way.
Yeah.
I avoid 85 at all costs because fuck 85, it sucks. So I'm taking like the back ways, like number 5 and 460, that type shit. It's like $7 Generals been like a 40-mile radius. That's just the back roads. Now counting the major like metropolis areas.
In Statesville alone, there are 6.
Is that where you live?
Yep.
There's
In Statesville, it's small. Statesville's a small place. There's nothing in Statesville, but there's 6 goddamn Dollar Generals active.
That's probably ain't one between here, Mikey's house, and my house yet.
There will be. It's already up there. You just don't
Yeah,
have.
there really isn't.
You say that now.
Dollar Tree. Close enough. About the same shit.
It's not even a Dollar Tree anymore. It's fucking $1.25 tree.
Yeah.
I like 5 and below.
Yeah, it's kind of like a what is it? Pop shelf. Same thing.
Yeah. I'm Big Lots. That's kind of a cheaper or more expensive dollar store, I guess.
It used to be dollar, like you would have $1 General and a Family Dollar, and then there'd be nothing. Maybe a grocery store here or there, and that's it.
There's a Family Dollar going to fucking Dante's house from here, out in the middle of nowhere. There's like a sports bar and a fucking Dollar General.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
I say close to you than Dante does.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I say 25 minutes from you.
Oh, damn. We need to hang out more often.
I'm an hour 25. I don't mean a long trek.
So, like, you know how you go to Dante's house?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, tell us how exactly to get to Dante's house.
It's like 2 turns, you're there.
Bam.
Oh, it's 1 turn, actually, isn't it?
Technically,
Hey,
yeah.
1 turn and 2 roundabouts, and you're there. 3 roundabouts.
Anybody else want to tell where they fucking live, just in case these podcasts get big?
Well, to get to my house, you just do 1 turn, 2 roundabouts, and another turn. You get to my house. It's,
Oh, we can narrow that down real quick.
what about you, Mr. Hammer?
About 25 minutes away.
How many turns is it for you?
How many Dollar Generals? That's how we measure distance. How many?
Iranians.
Yeah. Now's the time to move, boys.
It's cap. It's cap.
Oh, Cap? Cap?
Yeah.
Or, does Corey think have all these hoodlums over?
No.
Is she call me kick everybody out?
No, down.
That explains it. And they didn't invite me over there. She's out of town. I guess she's gonna show up and not see me sitting here and pop her bra off and kick back and
Not being compared to a Russian hooker from Korea.
yeah.
That's going to be a long call.
Dude, those girls are extremely beautiful, though, man.
Well, most hookers are pretty good looking.
Hey, you want to take my spot and finish out the episode? Sure. I got tea.
What the fuck is Cat wearing?
Some cool ass red pants, dog.
So, Hammer, I've had you. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Our revolving guest, this round table of conspiracy.
I'm getting a slice of pizza.
As he's doing his ASMR pizza eating, do you have any new conspiracies you want to bring up before we end this episode and go on to something else?
I haven't really heard any new ones lately that I know of.
So ours is about the conspiracy of how the cities are being turned into what's called 15-minute cities, where the whole infrastructure is based on continuous spending and having a continuous high living cost, where the central hub of the city acts as kind of an anchor and just pulls everyone toward it until eventually everyone's kind of cost and out and priced out of where they live, creating a general. And that goes into another conspiracy of general poverty.
Yeah.
But that's just me, because if I think about something too long, I go nuts.
But it's not really a conspiracy because it's a fact and it's happening right before our eyes.
It's happening right in front of us, yeah.
I mean, look at Cap. He's a 15-minute city.
Yep. They're closing all the affordable housing and just putting in expensive ass condos everywhere.
Low 200s.
Yep. Low 200s.
That's 200,000, not $200.
Not like this motherfucker walked up and be like, $200 a month? Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, half a trailer in the back.
I would have paid that back then.
Well, folks, before we continue all down this fucking rabbit hole of talking about dogs and other bullshit that had nothing to do with the episode to begin with, but a great episode nonetheless. Thank you, Fireball, for coming on the show.
Cool.
We are happy to have you and hoping to have you again.
Well, I said cool.
Cool. Hammer, welcome back real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Cameo. Folks, we're going to close it off here. Thanks for listening, and check us out on the Something Good Network. Check out this fucking guy with Mikey Black. Check out Fireball's podcast.
Hagler Fireball
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
has eat pizza.
Yeah. Check out everything on the network. Like I said, new episodes out as minutes as we can get out. Have a good one. Have a good night.
You've been listening to the Something Good Network. If you liked what you heard, you can follow us on Instagram, and check out the other great shows on the network. Link is in the episode description.